Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Toby, a cynical advertising director, finds himself trapped in the outrageous delusions of an old Spanish shoemaker who believes himself to be Don Quixote. In the course of their comic and increasingly surreal adventures, Toby is forced to confront the tragic repercussions of a film he made in his idealistic youth. A film that changed the hopes and dreams of a small Spanish village forever. Can Toby make amends and regain his humanity? Can Don Quixote survive his madness and imminent death? Or will love conquer all? This is a 2018 film. It doesn't have a rating, but I was surprised with how much language there is in it, so I would probably give it an R rating. But most nowadays, you would think PG-13, but so it's on that line. It does run 132 minutes. It's a little on the long side, but it's entertaining, so it doesn't really seem that long. And it stars the names on the front of the cover here. Adam Driver, Jonathan Price, Olga Kurylenko, Stellan Skarsgård, and Joanna Ribeiro. This is The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Well, last night when I was watching this, I didn't know exactly what to kind of expect. Like I'd never heard of this movie. Just kind of came up on my list to watch. And I gotta tell you, like, it just seems so familiar. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get away with this comparison, but this movie really reminds me of The Princess Bride. It really does. It's not as quotable. It's not as rememberable, probably, as you'll ever think of the Princess Bride. Everybody, quotes that and everything nowadays. But this is a really, I think it will be a memorable film for me. And I'm just going to remember a lot of the good funny parts. I'm going to remember a lot of the good, smart back and forth dialogue, the idea of the movie. It just everything about it seems really kind of just enjoyable and authentic, and but it does have that feel to it, like they're trying to do an olden movie but try and kind of do it in an updated way, so it's really funny to the audience and it's not just some old movie. And I like when people do that because you're able to kind of uh, relate to the people nowadays, and give them some kind of glimpse to the past and make it in a funny way so that it's not stupid and it's not just a farce, and people can enjoy it in a nice natural way. And I think that this Adam Driver, I think that he's a good person to pull that off, and relate us to that, because he is just has every correct reaction to every situation that's in this movie. There's a lot of times he's just left saying, "What the heck is going on?" And it's just what you would say if you were watching this movie or if you were a part of this situation. So I really enjoyed all the authentic reactions, all the natural comedy. Uh, the storyline, like it kind of says it on the back there in the summary. The storyline is that the main character here, Toby, he gets to make this student project while he's in college. He's a student, and he goes to Spain. He makes this Don Quixote film, and it's not meant to do anything other than be a project, and it turns this village upside down and leaves this guy to think that he is Don Quixote in real life. And so when Toby returns like 10 years later, a lot of the people, have felt the effect that they were in a movie. Either they should be completely famous or they're still in their role, like living day to day. And this guy that plays Don Quixote is still in that mindset. So he's going around, and calling people by the character names and stuff, and he's just kind of lost it, But so that guy is Jonathan Pryce, and he's this older guy. He is just outstanding playing this role. I mean, you kind of know that he's a nut because he's kind of lost it, and that's why he still thinks he's Don Quixote. But my goodness, Jonathan Pryce just plays that role. He plays the heck out of it, and everything's completely hilarious. Everything's completely just makes you smile. Just enjoying what Jonathan Pryce has to offer, and it's just really, really easy and light to be able to enjoy what Jonathan Pryce has to offer. And so sometimes you just have to give it up for the older, seasoned actors. They just know exactly what they're doing, and they will smash that role out of the park. And I think Jonathan Pryce does that with this Don Quixote character. So I don't think there's too much to say other than I hope that you can seek this out. I hope you can find it somewhere. I hope you can watch it. Give this movie a chance. I know it's sort of almost a year old now probably, and hopefully you've heard of it or something. But if you haven't, just try and seek it out. It's pretty available. I just got mine from the library, so it's probably available at your local library, just sitting on the shelf. So I'm gonna give The Man Who Killed Don Quixote a B plus. The reason why I'm giving it a B, even though it's probably one of the most memorable movies I've ever watched, it's one of the funniest movies I've ever watched. I could have used more consistent laughs. Like, a couple of times they're just kind of in the storyline phase, and, Toby's being his kind of jerk self, and they're just kind of sitting around, and it's kind of bland, and there's some just really dry parts. And I could have used more laughs. I could have used more of a comedy. The things that happen are hilarious. But I just could have used more consistency out of it. It is kind of a rather long movie. And maybe they could have cut out a couple parts or put jokes in their places. And honestly, I didn't care for as much language as there was in this. I think they could have made it a really clean movie. I think they could have had more laughs. And that would have made this movie even for more people. It could have expanded the audience by just cutting out some language and stuff. I think it would have been a lot better. I do, on a side note, to contradict myself, I do think that when he curses, in some situations, it's appropriate. Because of what is going on around him is so bizarre that the natural reaction is just to say what he says. But otherwise, the rest of the movie, the unnecessary stuff, there's the chance to cuss, and so you cuss. I think those moments could have been kept clean, and then it would have been more of a family movie. And, older people could have watched it and enjoyed it, and, with less language. And, some kids can get more educated by watching a film like this and learn something. But no, they just, heavy laden it with language, and it just kind of puts a sour note, on it for me. So I do think I would watch this again if given the chance, but I'm just not really looking forward to it with the language and some other things. But I do completely suggest watching it, and so I'm going to give The Man Who Killed Don Quixote a B+. Thanks, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.